So our next speaker is actually someone I've been friends with for a long time, but we've actually been working together recently on a project that she will tell us about. I love the energy she brings and the humor. And again, someone who I can say something to, and where most people will look at me like, what the hell is wrong with you? She's like, yeah, that's a fantastic idea.
Yes, I'll steal your leg.
What?
Yes, I'll steal your leg.
Yes. So the steal the leg, well, I'll tell them about the steal the leg afterwards. But please welcome Crystaljoy and Parman.
So thank you so much, Mike, for having me here today and for the introduction. It's really nice. And so, as Mike said, my name is Crystaljoy, and I am an entrepreneur and performing artist here locally in Ottawa. But you might not know this about me by looking at me, but I'm living with a disability. And what my disability is I'm actually living with a disease that's really not well known about and is actually endemic here in our capital region. And that disease is known as Lyme disease. And what it is a bacterial infection. And there's currently not much known about it. And so what we do know about it is that once it does enter the body, we really don't know any way of removing it from the body. We just know that we can manage it. And so this disease does affect me on a day-to-day basis, although for a long time I did keep that to myself because having it being such a controversial illness, I didn't really know how to talk about it or who to talk about it to. And so I actually fell ill with this disease when I was about 9 years old, when I started experiencing gut health issues. And from there throughout life, that extended from the gut throughout my body. And by the time I was in my early 20s, I was experiencing systemic health issues from the inside out, literally from inside the guts to the outside of my skin. I was experiencing mental health issues, all kinds of physical illnesses. I mean, you name it. I was screened for many different illnesses, including several types of cancers. I've had tests done like you wouldn't believe, but no one was ever to really find out what was going on. All of this went on until probably about the last 10 years of in my early 20s to my early 30s when I was being treated for bipolar disorder, because it must have been an issue of the mind because there really was no other way to explain what was going on. And so for 10 years we treated it as that until I fell chronically ill, or critically ill, in the summer of 2018. And from there, again, tests were being run like crazy, but no one can ever really find out the cause. Until I myself realized that I kind of had to take action and was able to find out about Lyme disease and learn that I was living with this. And what happened from there was learning that this wasn't a disease that was well known, but it was a major issue. And when we say the word endemic, what that means is it takes over. When we talk about endemic illnesses, we think about things like breast cancer, AIDS, and even the plague. And Lyme disease is endemic in our region, and it's one of the most endemic illnesses known in our history. And so when I found out that I was living with this disease, again, there's not much known about it, so I thought, okay, I have this disease, I'll just treat it, I'll get better, life will move on. But that wasn't the case, because there wasn't really much known about it. And just a few days after I found out that I was living with this disease, I found out a young man about the same age as myself passed away because of this illness. And that was a wake-up call for me, because not knowing much about it, I didn't know that even though I was in a critical state and I can feel my body literally shutting down, I didn't know that it was that serious. I didn't know it was taking people like that. And I was learning that it was actually really common that people would die from this illness. And so from there, I realized there was a call to action to make a change. And in that moment, I realized that I wanted to do an event, that I wanted to raise awareness. Even though I knew nothing about the illness at the time, and I knew nothing about event planning, even though I've been an entrepreneur involved in the networking and social media communities, I knew that this had to happen because really nothing was being done. And so from there, I started organizing an event called Light Lyme, which is actually taking place in May, which is actually Lyme Disease Awareness Month. So on Mother's Day at the Centurion Center, we're going to be hosting Light Lyme, and Michael has been a major role in that, and I'm so grateful for his role in it. And so what this event is going to do is we're not only raising awareness for the disease in our area, but also raising funds for an initiative that I'm trying to launch here in the city. Because many people with Lyme disease, including myself, don't have support from our medical system because doctors are, for one, too afraid to touch the disease because of the backlash they can experience from our government, which is unfortunate. But it's just a disease that is not really well known about, so people are afraid to really touch with it. And so a lot of people are left kind of dealing with it for themselves, and even the treatment plan in Canada, after 30 days of treatment, doctors will tell you there's really not much more we can do for you, even though this is a lifelong condition. I know I'm seeing some head shaking right now. That's exactly how I feel every day. So with the Ability First Ottawa Lyme Disease Initiative is what I'm trying to launch, or what we're going to launch. And what this very first event is raising funds for, it is going to help to raise awareness, but also to bring in some education, support, and resources, not only for Lymees, those are the people that are living with Lyme disease, but it's also going to help to make our community aware, those who are not living with the illness, and those who are taking care of people who are living with the illness, because there are various ways of transmission of the disease. There's a lot about the disease that's not being advocated by our government and by our medical system, and so that's where I feel that there are some challenges involved. It is making sure that everyone is aware of this disease and knowing that they're at high risk. A lot of people don't know what the word endemic is, and that we are endemic region of this disease. Last year there was a number of 2,000 known diagnoses in the Ottawa region, and we're expecting those numbers to even double from last year because of the humidity and the storms that we're expecting to experience this year. So Lyme disease, even though we know it to be on an extreme rise, it will be even more significant this year. And so that's my goal, is to make sure that people are aware that this is something that they are at risk of. When you're going for a walk, when you're going for a hike, when you're out enjoying the summer, be aware that this is a disease that everyone is at risk of, and your pets as well. I don't know whether pets can transmit it to their owners, but there are various ways of transmission, so people do need to be aware that it goes beyond just a tick bite, that you can get it contracted through blood transfusion and through your partner, and you can even pass it on to your unborn child as well. And so those are things that people need to be aware of if we're going to stop this disease from continuing to spread in our region. And some of the challenges that I faced when starting this event, because it's a disease that's not well known, and because it's very difficult to face. Getting the event off the ground, it wasn't like just starting an event, like Children's Wish Foundation or CHIO, let's raise funds for them. They're really credible, everyone supports them, but what I was doing was something that no one heard of, that no one really wanted to support, because they're afraid of, well, if I get involved in this, what will that mean for me and my charity and my organization? And so I was lucky enough to find an organization who really did see where I was going with this. They could see my mission and vision, and they did support me. And so that, of course, is Ability First Ottawa. I'm so grateful for them. And so we're working together to make this happen for Ottawa, so that we can not only help those who are suffering with this illness, but also to prevent it from happening to anyone else, of course. So that's my story.
Thank you, Crystaljoy. Guys, I would invite you all to come out on May 12th. We got a lot of cool stuff planned. There's a silent auction. We're gonna have a photo booth where we do the Lyme challenge, so people will take a picture biting into a Lyme. We have face painting, makeup. There's gonna be some stuff for mom. So if you want to bring mom out and look good, and show mom that you're a good person, that's the place to be. I actually was going to take my phone and show it to you on my phone, because yesterday Crystaljoy and I did a promo video. So there's actually a flash sale going on. If you guys get your tickets between May 1st and May 4th, you can save $10. But we will put that video on the social media. So we'll do that when I get home. Please look at the video, because I'm very proud of it. And of course buy tickets, that's the main thing.
Yes.
But also look at the video. because I'm really proud of it.